Off 15 seconds after you. You guys line up in the same spot. Okay? Matt, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Boom.
16 by K today.
16 by K.
We've got how long till Chicago?
Just under 4.
Just under 4 weeks.
Yeah, just under 4 weeks. 4 weeks from 3 days ago. 2 days ago.
And you're in some seriously heavy volume at the moment.
Yeah.
I saw a really solid long run last week, and yeah, what's the plan for today, and how are you feeling?
Feel pretty good. Probably average like low 3s. Probably start like around 305 and try to work down to the high 250s, but see how it goes.
What's the recovery going to be?
Just 90 seconds float, so I'll just keep jogging the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep going off of 90 seconds, so we should be out here for about 70 minutes or so.
Cool.
Roughly.
So we're going to go out and back along Lake Mary Road. So is it a K out and a K back?
I'm just going to go out, so we'll probably go about 6 miles out.
Oh, right,
and
sorry.
then
Okay.
turn around and come back.
Cool.
And yeah, I'll just keep going the whole time.
Keep going, yeah, cool. So we dropped a table off just before in the car, a little down the road there. So we'll get warmed up and we'll talk a little bit more about the fueling, the hydration in the session.
So that's the cool thing about Flagstaff is that there's just like anywhere you show up to work out in the morning, you're always going to see at least somebody out there.
Yeah, that was Naz Elite back there doing a workout.
So even if you're solo, it's nice to know that you're not totally in solitude.
Yeah, exactly. So we spoke a little bit before off camera. Wish I had the camera on, but let's do it now about the fueling, because you dropped a table back there with some bottles, and yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean fueling, I think is obviously like really overlooked in the marathon, I guess. Mm-hmm. I talk about the marathon like I know what I'm talking about, but I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I know that's totally different than what I'm used to coming off the track.
Yeah.
So I've been like really practicing, and so Nick Willis is in charge of the Tracksmith amateur program, and he has some really good contacts. And yeah, he got me in touch with one of his guys who like specializes in endurance sport. I think he has his master's in kinesiology, and he's like a biomedical engineer. And he's a pretty good ultra runner himself, a marathoner. So he had like a really long conversation with me about fueling and just basically how important it is to practice. And like, so even sessions like this where, for 16K, 10 miles of work roughly, I don't really need fuel. I think it's really good to, practice a time or two, like grabbing your bottle off the table, not dropping it, which I've done a couple times already. And then just getting that in your stomach and letting your stomach sit with it while you're running at it, 450, 5-minute pace really. Then I've been practicing a lot on just long runs, even ones that aren't workouts. Just getting that volume of 500, 600 calories through the last 90 minutes of a long run or something. Basically try to go every 3 miles. In the marathon you're going to go every 5K. Just that density of calories and fuel sitting in your stomach can get uncomfortable. So I think basically from the way it's been explained to me is, I guess they've learned a whole lot about it from cycling and other endurance sport, and you're now starting to see that applied to running. And yeah, I think if you do it right, hopefully it makes a big difference. We'll find out in 4 weeks.
Yeah. And you mentioned you don't do well with gels at the moment, so are you going to keep practicing with them to try and train the stomach, or are you just going to try and stick with the liquid? Yeah,
I think at this point I'm going to go with just the liquid. Yeah, I tried gels and I would just I could keep them down for the session, but as soon as I stopped the workout, I would just immediately vomit. So yeah, after throwing up twice, and I was like, man, it's also really hard at 5-minute pace to rip open a gel.
It really is, yeah.
It's so there was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
The bottle's a little bit simpler. You just grab it and take it, and that's all you have to worry about.
So a workout like this, what will you use? Which shoes will you use?
So I'll use the Nike, the Next Percent. been using those for most of the sessions. And then I've been training a lot in this Saucony shift.
Okay.
So I've never really worn Saucony before. But yeah, I got these, I guess, 6 weeks ago. Been putting like a lot of big miles in them, and I like them a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And you'll race in the next percent?
Yeah, I've been racing in the next percent. I guess one of the nice things about being unsponsored, I can hop around and try everything, which I've been doing. Yeah.
So, Jacob, you were 8th at the 20K a couple of weekends ago. A couple of places in front of Ian Butler, whose video just came out before yours.
Yeah.
That was the longest race you've done. Because you've done 27:53, is it?
57.
57 for 10K.
57.
Yeah. And so how'd that race go?
I think it went pretty well. Good indication of marathon training for me. I wanted to run pretty close to an hour. I think I was like 60:27. Our first 10K was like pretty slow, and then we had a pretty big negative split. Yeah, Ian was great. We ran together probably to like the last 800 meters even, and we were roommates. I'd never met him before. They put us together, and we got to be pretty good friends. So it's always, that's what's great about running.
So that was probably on pace to going 63 for a half high, maybe. Yeah. I guess you got a bit of confidence out of that for the full marathon.
Yeah, I think that felt comfortable enough that if we're somewhere in between 65 and 66 at Chicago, that hopefully halfway it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think that was good. I felt really comfortable running that, low 450 pace, that's what we ran for the first like 7 miles really until it kind of got going.
Were you in pretty heavy training through that?
Yeah. So the 2 weeks before it, I'd run 115 and 120, and then the week leading up to the race, I was like 95, and then coming off the race.
Miles per week.
Yeah. Coming off the race, right back to 120 for last week, and then I'll do that again this week before I kind of cut down a little bit.
What is your typical? I mean, you're on Strava too.
Yeah.
So yeah, people can follow along there.
Yeah, big Strava guy. Love Strava.
Cool. And what is your? People will see it on the Strava, but what's your weekly mileage looking like at the moment?
Right in that like 120 range.
Yeah.
That's the most I've ever done. I think I'd done 110 or so, just in fall training in the past. But I've been running 100 miles a week since kind of like my sophomore year of college. So I like the mileage. I feel like really strong doing it, especially doing it at altitude. Like I feel like I really thrive off of altitude. Yeah.
Cool. Let's get into these 1Ks.
Yeah.
Next percent's on.
Next percent's on. Yeah. Like I was saying, I think I'm getting used to marathon training because I feel like total garbage for like 20%, first 20% of the workout.
That's when you know you're getting used to the training.
Yeah.
When you start to feel better like halfway through.
And you start to feel really good. We did 4x2 mile 2 weeks ago, and the first rep I was just felt horrible, and every rep got better and better. And it's even it's starting to happen on my regular runs as well. Where I'll feel horrible for the first 2 miles of a run. I just told you I was doing an easy double, and I stopped 2 miles in. I was just hands on knees, running 7:20 pace. This feels so hard. And then I just started jogging again, and then 2 minutes later I was oh, this feels great.
I'm good.
Got really good the last 4 miles.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that means you're doing it right.
Yep.
All right, ready?
Let's do it.
$2:59.
Nice.
Right at the 3-minute mark we want to kind of set at.
Yeah, perfect.
15 more.
15 to go. Maybe slightly downhill for now, but the entire route obviously evens out. We're going to get back to the start.
Yeah.
But rolling hills, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. It's I think this is probably the most, the first K.
Yeah.
Probably the most descent we'll probably hit the whole way.
Yeah.
And then the last one will be the hardest one of the whole thing. But yeah, overall, It kind of looks like it's really hilly if you're just like looking way up,
Yeah.
but it's not too bad.
Doesn't feel too bad.
It's pretty flat. Yeah. Easy, 90 seconds.
Yeah.
If I'm on the track, I usually go off like 200-meter jog, but
Okay.
let's go on 90 seconds out here on the road.
Sure.
It's harder to recover. Sea level, I definitely do off 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But
What is the elevation here? It's about 7.
I think we're like right at
7,000
7,000,
feet.
right about. Five seconds.
Fair too.
302, yeah. Just kind of want to sit here for as long as I can, really.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one thing I'm going to struggle with, being really patient in marathon. So, not getting too carried away. I get a bit antsy, especially I feel like coming from the track, you know? It's just like, those track races, even in the 10K, you know, you're out in 4:25, like, you got to ready to roll. The marathon, like, you just want to sit in like 4:55 to 5-minute pace for as long as you
You
can.
want to relax for 18, 20
2
miles.
hours. Yeah, to being out there 2+ hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot different being out there for 13 minutes or 28 minutes. $258. That's not our table, but I kind of just guessed where I was putting those out. Hopefully I hit the, I'm trying to practice hitting the bottles in the rep, not on the rest.
Okay.
Just because it's picking a bottle up at
Of course.
4:48 pace, and
It's quite different to picking it up at 7-minute pace.
yeah, I've dropped a couple, so I think I'm getting it down.
Yeah, nice.
I'm just really curious how far apart they're gonna be
Yeah.
on the table in the race, you know?
Yeah. In Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Yeah.
Hopefully not too hard. I just don't want to knock anybody else's bottle down.
Yeah.
Like I do in the marathon. This is my favorite K too.
It's not yours.
Like this mile from 6 to 7 is like my favorite mile. Like either way.
Yep.
It looks like it's downhill, but somehow it's like perfectly flat.
Okay.
No, it looks downhill, doesn't it?
It does a little bit, yeah, but
But on the way back, like almost always run quicker on the way back. And,
Okay.
Like the vert would be like 3 feet or something.
Sure.
All right, ready?
yeah.
Yeah. Three flat. 259.9, but we'll get it 3 flat. You round up on the roads.
Perfect so far.
Yeah, this next one should hit the bottle. I can put it out at the 7.5 mile marker.
Yeah.
So it should be about halfway through this rep. So
Perfect.
this rep might be like a 3:05 or so.
Yeah.
Usually I've come to figure out when I take the bottle and like just to get it in, I usually run about 4 or 5 seconds slower.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common now.
That might be for the full mile, so maybe like 3 seconds slower for the K. But yeah, I can usually hit like 304, 305 with grabbing the bottle and getting it down, which is good practice, gets closer to marathon pace.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll have like 2 of those in this workout. Hopefully like number 5 and number like 11.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 11 on the way back.
Perfect.
So that'll be like, those 2 will probably be a little bit slower, but nice.
Very smooth with the drink.
Yeah, 302.
Yeah.
I think that's the fastest I've ever run while taking a bottle. So yeah, that's great starting
Stomach feels fine.
so far.
That was just water, right?
No,
That was electrolyte.
so that's Martin.
Okay.
I'm using Martin 320.
Okay.
That one actually has the caffeine in it as well.
Okay.
But that's probably what, as of right now, that's probably what I'm going to use in the race.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to take it in like at least long runs in one workout.
Yeah.
I figure I'd do that I kind of started like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I figure if I can handle that for 5-6 weeks of training, then hopefully this stomach will be ready for race day. That 2, ready?
Yeah.
2, 1. Two again.
There is Lake Mary.
That's it.
So we're just saying the conversion up here is probably about 8 seconds a mile for you?
I would say at this pace, probably like pretty close to 8 seconds a mile, yeah. So,
because you're new here, you haven't been, it's not like you were born at altitude or you spent a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for about 6 months, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I think, 5 seconds, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the next one. Cool, let's go.
Here we go. .259.
Nice.
Whoever sees a lot of 3s
Yep.
versus a lot of those 259s anyways.
Especially on the way out.
Yeah.
People will be curious, what pace are you jogging at, roughly?
Probably like 8-minute pace-ish.
8 minutes?
Yeah, I think most of them have been like 7:38 minutes.
Yeah. About 4:30 to 5 minutes per kilometre.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd probably, like if I was on the track, I would just like walk jog 200 in 90 seconds.
Yeah.
But out here, I'll just kind of try it. We've been doing a lot of sessions with like maybe like 2 mile reps and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll either take like, stay on 90, I've been using 90 seconds for like everything.
Yeah.
Or we'll do floats. So I'll run like half mile, like 2:55, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And some like the long run workouts. Or we'll do like 4 or 5 miles at marathon pace. And we'll do a mile float and the same thing, like 5:50, 6 minute pace.
Sure.
Yeah, so like 7:50 pace right now.
Okay.
They all been about the same.
So do one more and turn around.
One more and turn around.
Yep.
Man, that was 7 already.
Yep.
Okay, 3. Yeah, once we turn around, it'll be golden. Whew, 3:03.
Nice. Bit of a rise at the end there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got me. Oh, last minute.
Yeah, that was a bit of a hill.
Which is good because, that's how the marathon's going to be,
Yeah.
Chicago's flat, but
There could be little surges.
you're not running on a track, There's going to be undulations and, surges and all kinds of stuff. Oh man, feels like I might have a headwind on the way back. And here we go.
Nice. That was a little windy, but not too bad.
What was that?
Little windy.
Oh yeah.
Not too bad.
I couldn't hear you.
You can't hear me because of the wind.
But hey, Chicago's a windy city, right?
That's right.
Get used to it.
That's right. 9 down, probably averaged around 3:01.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So,
Probably.
how you feeling?
Felt pretty good. Right now is about the time it starts to get kind of hard,
Yeah.
Put in.
Let's get off the road. Is the car coming?
Yeah, put in 9K, so like anybody can do 10.
Yeah.
Most I've ever done is 12.
Okay.
It's like straight up K reps. So the last 4, I'm pretty confident I can make it to 12. We'll see how the last 4 go.
Cool.
5 seconds. Three or 4. Got to sit on the next couple a little better.
Yeah.
Hit the trees. Watch the wind a little bit.
Will you hit the table in this one?
I think the next one.
Next one up. Yeah.
I think we put it out at 7.5.
Yeah.
That was 9.
Okay.
So we're about a mile and a quarter away.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Back at 302.
Nice.
Getting back on it. Got the trees to block some of the wind that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 5K to go. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Beautiful
this,
day. What a day for it, huh?
Yeah, beautiful day. I have this poster. There's a guy called the Orange Runner in New York. He draws comics, running comics.
Yeah.
And he has this one that's it's like this guy like walking out of like a lion's mouth.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it says, for the love of God, bring it on. And I, about a year ago, I sent him a message and was like, hey dude, I gotta buy that print. So he sold it to me, I had it framed. And it was like, first thing I see when I get up, I always get up, make my bed, look at my poster.
That's awesome.
Bring it on.
Are you looking at that poster for a little bit longer at the moment when the marathon coming up?
I have it in here.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about right now, for sure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, I left a contract on the table to move out to Flagstaff and be the best runner I can be. So
Yeah.
I feel like I owe it to myself and everybody who helped me out.
For sure.
Lay it all out here.
Yeah.
All right, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
2, 1.
Nice.
Ambidextrous. Oh, 301.
Oh, nice with the drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both
I didn't get it all down,
No.
but
Didn't feel like you needed to? Or?
I was gonna slow down if I got any more of it down.
Yeah, okay.
So it's really hard to digest under marathon pace.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, as long as I can grab the bottle, get like half of it down, and like just practice that, like motion and stuff, I think it's a win.
Yeah.
As long as it sits all right in my stomach, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still getting, I put 8 ounces in.
Yeah.
I try to get down 6.
Okay.
Gonna leave a little room for air.
Okay.
But yeah, what, that was 12, right?
Yeah. 4 to go.
Flat.
Nice. That's really good.
Whew. 13. Well, further than I've ever been before.
Yeah, in 1K reps.
Yeah, starting to breathe pretty hard. My buddy John Ranieri, he always tells me, God, I'm like, I feel like at sea level, you like try to be calm and smooth and like, you know, hide your breathing, you know? If you're suffering, like you try to still keep it under control. But up here, like, once it gets hard, like, I just start breathing so hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, you just develop your, we call it the third lung, Flagstaff lung.
It's like stuff like.
So you're panting, but you're getting all your air into the third lung.
Yeah.
It's an advantage, having 3 lungs at sea level.
That's definitely an advantage.
All right. That last K is like my favorite stretch of road.
Yeah.
From like 6 to 7, it was like my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'll get another half mile on it.
Okay.
My rest jog just slowed down. 8:30 pace, 9-minute pace.
Yeah. You've kept the intervals the same though.
Yeah. Get through this one, and then the last two will be tough.
Yeah.
You get back up that little incline, kind of the last 2K, but. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Flat.
Oof.
Oh, my hat was gonna blow off.
Yeah, that's a great split for that wind. I mean, it's a pretty strong headwind now.
I'm just looking at your back wheel.
Yeah. Okay, so we're coming up to 15.
Yep, number 15, 2 to go.
This is the key one. I think you'll get through the last, but keeping this at 3 will be the challenge.
All right, 3. Whew. 3:01. Yeah, one more.
About maybe 30, 40 feet of rise in the last one.
What was that?
Maybe 30, 40 feet of elevation gain in the last one.
Yeah, I think it's like right around 30, 32 or something.
Okay, so it's not...
It might be for the whole mile, but I think it's pretty much in the first K, first 1,200.
Okay.
Three, 2. You're 59.
Oh, nice. Nice finish.
Cough. Yeah, that's about perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Probably like 3:01, 3:02 average.
Really, really good.
I think most of them are 3:01, 3 flat. Great water.
I think you could have done a couple more.
Yeah, maybe 20. Another 4.
So we just got word from some Nazarene guys
Yeah.
that the conversion up here for someone like yourself is probably closer to 15
Yeah,
seconds
I mean,
per mile, which is probably roughly about 10, 11 seconds per K for someone like yourself that hasn't that wasn't born at elevation and hasn't spent a lot of time here. So
yeah, I mean, that was
probably
good.
equivalent of like 250s at sea level.
Yeah, I'd say maybe like 253.
Yeah.
I don't know. I usually call it like 8 seconds, but
Yeah.
everybody says a little bit different. But I figure it's better to give myself less of a conversion and surprise myself on race day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's kind of like effort. Like, I was supposed to be like half marathon effort, which I would hope would be like kind of like, I don't know, a fast, like something like Houston, like pretty close to like 440, 442 pace.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the guys I'm like, you know, getting ready to race in Chicago, that's most of their like half PR, like, you know, 61 mid, 61 high. Like, I think like Nico's run that fast, Reed's run that fast. I assume Chris Derrick's run that fast. He's pretty good. Clayton Young is really good at that stuff. So I think we're all like, if we raced a half, we'd all be pretty close.
Yeah.
And like half of us are making our like marathon, you know.
Debuts.
Reed's raced a marathon, but not like a real marathon. He had that mishap with the
Did the fall.
He said that in the video. He's like, "It's pretty much my debut again in your last video."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, Nico's done it before. Ian Butler's done it before. Chris has done it before. And then, like, you know, Zach Panning's making his debut. I'm making my debut. Clayton Young's making his debut.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good Americans, you know? It's fun to, like, yeah, it's fun to, I feel like there's, like, these guys have come up with for a while. I think everybody's kind of shifting to the roads, which is, like, it's exciting. Like, so I'm still getting used to I was really bad at the roads for a while.
Yeah.
Like, you think it's just running, but like I always thought, like, I'm in good track shape, like I'll be fine on the roads, and then I'll just get torched. The style of racing is just so different.
Yeah.
That's right. So
Yeah, that's right.
I figure if I get fit enough, I'll be all right on race day.
That's right. So we had a coffee before we started, and you spoke about the little business that you started last year, kind of accidentally.
Yeah, thanks to Jimmy Malarkey. He'll probably watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a kid from my hometown like messaged me, asked me for some workouts. His like season was canceled. It was like right at the beginning of COVID. It was like April 2020, and started giving him some workouts, and then started sending me splits and telling me how his workouts were going and asking for more workouts. And
all of a sudden you're a coach.
Eventually he's like, "Do you want to be my coach?" And I was like, "Sure." And then he was a sophomore at the time. He's a senior now. He just ran 15:07. A big race coming up this week, but he went from like a 9:55, 4:30 something guy.
No joke.
Yeah, no jog. And now he's down to sub 4:20, 9:14. Yeah, he just ran 15:07 on the grass. He's like getting recruited by some pretty big schools. And then my next guy I was living in Boston at the time, and my next guy was a kid that lived down the street from me. Kind of same deal. He's like a 4:30 something sophomore, and then we'll just stay on the road so you don't have to go on that bike on the dirt again. Yeah, he ran 4:13 and 1:53 and 9:06 and 14:48, and same thing. He's getting recruited by some of the biggest schools in the country, and basically once I got those two and they started doing really well, it just like more and more kids kind of reached out, and it really took off. I think I'm up to like 50 something runners now in 16 or 17 states.
What's the company? Have you named
It's just called Thomson Training.
Thomson Training.
I run Thomson Training. Yeah, pretty much everything we do is through Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, I'll link the Instagram in the description.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. But yeah, it's a lot of fun because like last year, 11 of the 12 kids or seniors went on to run in college. So it's cool seeing them getting a 17, 20 kid and him running 16:06, and now he's taking official visits to smaller schools, but he probably wasn't gonna be able to run in college if he didn't It's really cool I was really fortunate in high school. Had a great setup, great coach, but a lot of kids want to be good, but they just need the expertise. And I think there's a lot of good high school coaches out there, but there's a lot of high school coaches that are they might like running, but maybe they don't necessarily have the tools to coach a 15:30 guy or 16-minute guy, and they're just they're doing it and helping out, but they there's a kid that wants a little bit more, and that's kind of what we're filling. I mean, I think you see a lot of pretty much all sports now are kind of going the club private model. I mean, how many golf, swimming, soccer, basketball, how many Power 5 basketball recruits even play for their school anymore? It's I think you just see the sports are turning that way, and what kind of started it by accident, and
good for you.
it allowed me to leave Boston, move out here, which I really wanted to do. I mean, if I hadn't accidentally started that, I would have had to stay there just financially with a BA contract. But this kind of gave me a chance to turn it down and do what I wanted to do. And then any high schoolers out there want to go to summer running camp, bluegrass running camp, kind of same thing. Another high school coach called just to chat about, he had a pretty good kid. He wanted to chat about training for his kid. We talked for an hour, and then at the end of the call, he's like, "Man, you just put on a camp in Kentucky." So I'm from Kentucky. I take a lot of pride in that. I went to UK. My coach right now, Haken DeVries, is the Kentucky coach, and there's really a void there. If you want to go to running camps, I feel like everybody goes to running camps now, But if you want to go to running camp, like the closest ones to Kentucky are in North Carolina or down in the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, and they cost like $1,000, $800. They're like super expensive, and you probably, if you want to go from Kentucky, you gotta like either drive like 6 to 8 hours or get a plane ticket. Yeah. So yeah, we started a camp, had 131 kids turn out, and you know, we basically like cut our price like half of what everybody else is doing just to like help grow the sport in Kentucky. Yeah, sure. So I take a lot of pride in that, and it kind of gives me like an accountability too. Like if I was just out here and nobody was watching, like it's easy to slack off or something. But I know I got 50 high schoolers checking my Strava every day to make sure I'm doing my work too, and I tell them all kinds of stuff. So I hold them accountable, and I don't know if they know it or not, but they hold me accountable too. So awesome. I really enjoy it.
People interested in these camps, they can follow your Instagram page and they'll get notified.
Yeah, it's all on Thomson Training Instagram, the website, bluegrassrunningcamp.com. We just put out our dates for next summer already because we had like we had a lot of schools, like school teams and like parents starting to reach out like already, like, hey, we're trying to schedule vacation, when's running camp? So I was like, we called the college we did it at, we're like, hey, can we go ahead and lock our dates down? And so we're all locked and loaded, ready to go.
Cool down, so we did 2 miles?
Yeah, just 2 miles. I think it's like 12, 17. Somewhere 17 or 17 and a half in the morning, and then I'll probably do like probably do 4 mile, maybe 5 mile shakeout this evening with some weights.
What fast food establishment are you gonna hit up now, or any?
I'm gonna hit up this gas station. The gas station. They have the fountain Gatorade, lemon lime. So I get like the big 48-ounce cup, like no ice. And I get it every time I leave Lake Mary, and I just like chug it the whole way home. But I've been craving. It's like I feel like a pregnant lady or something. I just crave like. It's usually salty. Like I've been like just going through boxes of Cheez-Its. Like I'll go through like 2 boxes of Cheez-Its a week. And like Sprite. I've been craving. I drink so much Sprite now, which like I never drink soda. I started running 120 mile weeks, and I'm like, I drink Sprite like 3 days a week now. So maybe not the best nutrition, but it gets the job done.